There comes a time in life when you find yourself in a situation that feels like a slow erosion of your spirit, eroding your happiness, health, and sense of self. This is not weakness. It is a silent signal that something needs to change. Perhaps you are in a relationship where you are no longer respected, or in a job that drains you without any satisfaction, or stuck in a cycle of obligation and guilt that leaves you empty. Today, we will look at 9 specific moments when leaving is not just an option, but an act of courage and self-respect. We believe how making these difficult decisions, guided by the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, can lead to significant personal growth and a life that is in line with your true values. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you will have a clearer understanding of when to let go, how to embrace new opportunities, and why leaving may be the strongest, bravest decision you can make. First, respect. This is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, whether personal or professional. When respect begins to fade, it will be felt in every interaction. Perhaps your ideas are rejected in meetings, your partner interrupts you, or your friends continually ignore your boundaries. These small, insignificant actions add up over time, chipping away at your self-esteem and making you feel invisible. It's like standing on a shaky foundation that could crumble at any moment. The Stoics remind us that our self-respect should not depend on the opinions or actions of others, but it's incredibly difficult to maintain when you're surrounded by disrespect. In a workplace where respect is lacking, you may notice a decline in enthusiasm and productivity. Your contributions go unnoticed, or worse, someone else gets the credit for your hard work. It's not just a blow to your professional pride, it's a signal that you're not valued in this environment. The same goes for your personal relationships. When your partner, family, or friends don't respect you the way you deserve, it's not just hurtful, it's toxic. It can make you question your worth and put enormous strain on your mental health. Walking away from these situations isn't giving up. It's reclaiming your dignity and self-respect. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and reactions. You can't control how others treat you, but you can choose to walk away from an environment that doesn't respect you. It's an act of self-preservation, a statement that you deserve better. By walking away, you're not only protecting your mental and emotional well-being, you're setting a powerful precedent for your future interactions. You're telling yourself and the world that you won't tolerate disrespect. It's not an easy decision. It takes tremendous strength and self-awareness. But by doing so, you create space in your life for relationships and opportunities that align with your values and support you. Think about it. Every moment you spend in a place where you are not respected is a moment taken away from finding and building a life where you are valued and respected. It is not just walking away from negativity, it is opening the door to positive, respectful environments. This act of walking away is a significant step toward personal growth and self-respect. Respect is non-negotiable. It is the foundation of every meaningful interaction. So when you find yourself in a situation where it is lacking, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Focus on what you can control and have the courage to walk away. Your self-respect and inner peace are worth far more than staying in an environment that diminishes you. Second, your health. It is your most valuable asset. It is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. When you find yourself in a situation that is negatively affecting your mental or physical health, it is a clear signal that something needs to change. We often experience stress, anxiety, and physical tension, thinking that this is just a part of life. But when these issues become chronic, these are red flags that cannot be ignored. Consider a job that demands more from you than you can give. Long hours, constant pressure, and a toxic work environment can lead to burnout, stress, and even serious health problems like insomnia or high blood pressure. Your body and mind can only take so much before they start to break down. It is imperative to listen to these warning signs and take action before it is too late. The Stoics believed in the importance of balance and moderation, and overstepping your limits is a clear violation of these principles. In personal relationships, the stakes are no less high. If you are in a situation where constant conflict, neglect, or emotional abuse is affecting your mental health, it is important to acknowledge the damage being done. Anxiety, depression, and feelings of being trapped can arise from being in a toxic relationship. Stoics teach us to value our inner peace and avoid those who disturb it. Leaving an abusive relationship is not a sign of failure. It is a courageous step towards protecting your mental health and reclaiming your peace. Physical health is no less important. Perhaps you are engaged in an activity or lifestyle that is causing you physical harm. Maybe it is a sport that your body can no longer handle, or habits that are gradually wearing you down. Ignoring physical damage can lead to long-term damage. The Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature includes caring for our physical bodies as part of our natural existence. We must respect our limits and listen to what our body is telling us. Leaving a situation that is damaging to your health is an act of wisdom. It is about recognizing that your well-being must always come first. This wisdom includes knowing when to let go of what no longer serves you and putting your health above external obligations or pressures. Imagine how your life could change if you put your mental and physical health first. By leaving a toxic environment, you open the door to healing and growth. You give yourself space to restore. This may mean finding a job that respects your work-life balance, maintaining a relationship where you are respected, or adopting a lifestyle that promotes your well-being. Your health is not something to be compromised. It is the foundation of your ability to live a full and meaningful life. By recognizing when a situation is damaging to you and having the courage to leave, you are choosing to honor and protect yourself. The Stoics remind us that true power lies in our ability to maintain inner peace and harmony. So make your health a priority, make the necessary changes, and remember that walking away from what is harmful to you is a powerful act of self-care and wisdom. Third, your values. These are the core principles that guide your actions, decisions, and overall direction in life. They define who you are and what you are worth. When you find yourself in situations that force you to compromise these values, it creates a deep inner conflict that can be incredibly distressing. Whether it's in the workplace, in your personal relationships, or in any other area of your life, living in conflict with your values can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction and unrest. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living in alignment with your principles and virtues. They believe that true happiness comes from aligning your actions with your inner convictions. Think about a job that requires you to act unethically or against your moral principles. Every time you compromise your values for the sake of your work, you feel like part of your integrity is slipping away. It's not just a feeling of discomfort, it's a loss of touch with yourself. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believe that maintaining your integrity and virtue is the foundation for a fulfilling and meaningful life. When your work conflicts with these ideals, it's a clear sign that it may be time to walk away. In personal relationships, compromising your values can be just as destructive. You may be in a relationship where you are pressured to behave in a way that doesn't align with your beliefs, or surrounded by people whose actions and views conflict with what you value. Over time, this dissonance can erode your sense of self and lead to constant inner torment. Stoics teach us to choose our companions wisely, because the people we spend our time with can greatly impact our character and well-being. If your values are continually being compromised in your relationships, you may need to reassess and perhaps walk away to maintain your integrity. Walking away from situations that compromise your values is not an act of weakness. It is a demonstration of strength and self-respect. It shows that you are committed to living authentically and putting your principles above convenience or external approval. Stoic philosophy encourages us to act in accordance with our true nature and to remain steadfast in our virtues despite external pressures. By doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and harmony, which is vital to our overall well-being. Imagine the freedom and power that comes from living a life that is completely aligned with your values. When you make decisions that reflect your principles, you build a strong foundation of self-respect and confidence. You become a person that others can rely on and trust, not because you always do what is easy, but because you consistently do what is right. The Stoics believed that such integrity was the key to true happiness and satisfaction. It is important to recognize that compromising your values, even in seemingly small ways, can have a cumulative effect. Every time you act against your principles, it becomes a little easier to do it again, leading to a slippery slope that ultimately takes you further from your true self. By standing up and walking away from situations that require you to compromise your values, you make a powerful statement about who you are and what you are worth. This act of courage and integrity can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Fourth, when we stop growing, we start to feel stagnant and unfulfilled. It's like being stuck in a rut, where each day feels like a monotonous repetition of the past, whether it's your career, your love life, or your hobbies. The Stoics believed in the constant pursuit of wisdom and self-development, viewing life as a journey of continuous growth. When you're no longer moving forward, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. Consider your career. There may have been a time when your job was challenging and exciting, full of opportunities to learn new skills and advance. But now it feels like you're just going through the motions, with no new challenges, no place for advancement, no excitement. This lack of growth can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction and boredom. The Stoics teach us to strive for excellence in everything we do and to look for opportunities to grow and improve. If your current job does not offer such opportunities, it may be time to explore new avenues that will rekindle your enthusiasm and curiosity. In your personal life, lack of growth can also be a significant problem. Relationships, for example, should be dynamic and evolving, helping both partners grow and become better versions of themselves. If you find that your relationship is stagnant, where interactions feel repetitive and uninspiring, it may be time to reassess it. The same goes for your personal interests and hobbies. If a hobby that once brought you joy and excitement now feels dull and routine, it is a sign that you need to seek out new avenues for growth and learning. The Stoics valued the pursuit of knowledge and personal development and encouraged you to continually seek out experiences that challenge and inspire you. Walking away from a situation where you are no longer learning or growing is an act of self-care and wisdom. It is about recognizing your potential and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. The Stoics believed that our time on earth is limited and that we should use it wisely, constantly striving to improve ourselves and our understanding of the world. By seeking out new opportunities and challenges, you honor this principle and make the most of your life. Imagine the excitement and satisfaction that comes from a constant state of growth and learning. When you challenge yourself and step out of your comfort zone, you open up a world of possibilities, you develop new skills, gain fresh perspectives, and become more resilient and adaptable. This continual growth not only improves your professional and personal life, but also contributes to your overall well-being and happiness. The Stoics believed that true satisfaction comes from living in alignment with your nature, which includes the desire to learn and grow. It is important to recognize that growth often requires leaving behind the familiar and comfortable. This can be scary, but it is a necessary step to reaching your full potential. The Stoics taught that discomfort and challenge are necessary for personal development. Embracing change and seeking out new experiences cultivates resilience and strength. This willingness to grow and learn is evidence of your commitment to living a full and meaningful life. Fifth, when your efforts are not appreciated, we've all been there. Giving everything to a situation and feeling like it's barely noticed, let alone appreciated. Whether it's a job, a friendship, or a family relationship, being invisible can be incredibly frustrating. You put in countless hours of work, help a friend, or constantly support your loved ones, only to find that your efforts are met with indifference or expectation. It's draining and can leave you completely burned out. When your hard work and dedication go unrecognized, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. In the workplace, this can look like constantly putting in extra effort without a single thank you or acknowledgement from your boss. Your contributions become expected rather than appreciated, and soon you begin to burn out. The Stoic approach teaches us to focus on our own merits and actions rather than seeking recognition from others. However, it is important to recognize when you are in an environment where you are consistently unappreciated. This can lead to long-term resentment and lowered self-esteem. In personal relationships, being unnoticed can be even more painful. Imagine always scheduling meetings, offering support, or making sacrifices only to have these gestures go unnoticed. Over time, this imbalance can lead to resentment and a feeling of emptiness. You may begin to wonder, why do you try so hard if it is not reciprocated or appreciated? It is not about constantly seeking praise, but about mutual respect and recognition. Walking away from a situation where you are taken for granted is a powerful act of self-respect. It is not about being selfish. It is about understanding your worth and refusing to accept less than you deserve. The Stoics remind us that we should not depend on the approval of others for our sense of self-worth. By leaving an environment where your efforts are undervalued, you create space for opportunities and relationships that truly recognize and value your contributions. This decision can be difficult. Often there is a fear of the unknown. What if you leave and don't get a better job or lose a friend? But staying in a place where you are not appreciated can be much more damaging in the long run. It is a slow erosion of your self-esteem and happiness. The Stoics advised us to act in accordance with our principles and values, even if it means making difficult decisions. Put your well-being and growth above familiar comfort. Imagine yourself redirecting your energy to people and places that truly value you. This shift will not only boost your morale, but it will align your life with principles of mutual respect and recognition. It is an awareness of a balanced dynamic where your efforts are recognized and rewarded. This balance is vital to maintaining healthy relationships and a positive self-image. By walking away from those who take you for granted, you are setting a standard for how you expect to be treated. It is a statement of your own worth and a step toward a more fulfilling life. You deserve to be in an environment where your efforts are recognized and valued. Remember, as the Stoics taught us, your worth is innate and should not depend on the recognition of others. Stand firm in that belief, and don't be afraid to move on from those who don't value what you bring to their lives. Sixth, staying in a situation solely out of guilt or obligation. This can be incredibly draining and unfulfilling. This is a common scenario. We often feel obligated to stay in a job, relationship, or commitment because we feel guilty about leaving or believe it is our duty to stay. However, when your primary reason for staying is guilt or obligation, it is a sign that it is time to reevaluate your situation. The Stoics teach us to live in alignment with our true nature and act from a place of true intention, not from external pressure or false guilt. Think about a job where you feel obligated to stay because you do not want to let your coworkers down or you are afraid of judgment from others. Perhaps the job no longer brings you joy or does not align with your career goals, but the thought of leaving fills you with guilt. You may worry about the additional burden that leaving will put on your team or be afraid of disappointing your boss. However, staying in a role that no longer serves you out of obligation can lead to resentment and burnout. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of aligning your actions with your inner values and recognizing that you are in control of your own decisions, not the opinions or expectations of others. In personal relationships, guilt and obligation can be even more powerful. You may stay in a friendship or romantic relationship because you feel responsible for the other person's happiness or because you have been together for a long time. You may worry that leaving will hurt them or feel obligated to stay. However, if the relationship is no longer healthy or fulfilling, staying out of obligation is unfair to either party. Stoics remind us that authentic relationships are built on mutual respect and willing commitment, not on feelings of guilt or obligation. It is important to act with integrity and honesty toward both yourself and others. Leaving a situation where you are staying only out of guilt or obligation is an act of self-respect and authenticity. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are valuable and that you deserve to spend them on things that are truly meaningful and fulfilling to you. Imagine the freedom and power that comes from making decisions that align with your true self. When you let go of guilt and obligation, you open up space in your life for opportunities and relationships that truly resonate with you. This shift can lead to greater happiness, fulfillment, and personal growth. The Stoics believed that living a virtuous life involves making decisions that reflect your core values and pursuing what truly matters to you, rather than being influenced by external pressures. It's important to recognize that walking away from a situation out of guilt or obligation can be difficult. There may be initial discomfort and difficult conversations, but ultimately it's a step toward a more authentic and fulfilling life. By making decisions that honor your true self, you cultivate feelings of inner peace and wholeness. Seventh, trust is the foundation of all meaningful relationships, whether it's a friendship, a romantic partnership, or a professional connection. Trust allows us to feel safe and valued. When trust is seriously violated, it can feel like the ground has been pulled out from under our feet. This violation can come in many forms: deception, betrayal, or dishonesty, and it often leaves deep emotional wounds. The Stoics emphasize the importance of honesty and integrity. They teach us that our character is determined by our actions and the trust we build with others. When trust is broken, it is a signal that something fundamentally has changed in the relationship. Imagine learning that a close friend has been spreading false rumors about you, or discovering that your partner has been unfaithful. These violations of trust are not only hurtful, they fundamentally change the dynamic of the relationship. It becomes difficult, if not impossible, to continue interacting with the same degree of openness and vulnerability. Marcus Aurelius, for example, taught that we must accept the reality of the world and the actions of others, but we must also act to protect our inner peace and integrity. In a professional setting, a serious breach of trust might include a colleague taking credit for your accomplishments or a boss making false promises. These actions can undermine your confidence and create a toxic work environment. When you can no longer trust the people you work with, it becomes difficult to stay motivated and engaged. If trust is broken in a way that compromises your ability to do your job effectively and ethically, it may be time to consider leaving. Leaving a relationship or situation where trust has been seriously broken is not about running away from the difficulty. It is about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. It is about recognizing that trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. Consider the long-term consequences of remaining in a situation where trust has been broken. Constant doubt and anxiety can take a serious toll on your mental health. You may constantly question the other person's actions and motives, which can be debilitating. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, taught that our peace of mind should not be sacrificed to maintain a relationship that no longer serves us. Imagine the relief and strength that comes from walking away from a situation where trust has been broken. By walking away, you open the door to a new, healthier relationship built on mutual respect and trust. You also send a powerful message to yourself and others about your self-respect and the standards you expect in your interactions. It is important to recognize that walking away from a relationship where trust has been broken can be incredibly difficult. It may involve difficult conversations and the loss of relationships that once meant a lot to you. However, it is important to remember that your well-being and integrity are paramount. The Stoics teach us to face such challenges with courage and wisdom, understanding that sometimes the most virtuous path is also the most difficult. Eighth, losing yourself. This can be one of the most disorienting and painful experiences. It often happens gradually over time as you put the needs and expectations of others ahead of your own. You may wake up one day and realize that you no longer recognize the person looking back at you in the mirror. This loss of yourself can happen in many different aspects of life: relationships, career, social circles, and it leaves you feeling empty and disconnected. Think of a relationship where you continually compromise your own desires and values in order to keep the peace or please your partner. Over time, you may find that you have become shaped by the expectations of others, neglecting your own identity in the process. This can lead to a deep sense of loss and confusion. In your career, losing yourself can happen when you are so focused on climbing the corporate ladder or meeting external definitions of success that you forget why you started in the first place. You may find yourself in a role that looks great on paper, but leaves you unfulfilled and disconnected from your passions. The Stoics would encourage you to reflect on what truly matters to you and ensure that your work aligns with your values and interests. It is important to seek out roles and environments that allow you to be your true self and contribute in a way that is meaningful to you. Social circles and friendships can also contribute to this loss of self. If you are surrounded by people whose values and lifestyles do not resonate with you, it is easy to begin to conform to fit in. Over time, this can undermine your sense of identity. The Stoics believed in the importance of choosing your companions wisely and ensuring that your relationships reflect your true self. Seneca advised seeking out friendships based on mutual respect and shared values. As these relationships help us grow and stay true to ourselves, it is important to acknowledge that reclaiming yourself can be a challenging process. This may involve making difficult decisions and leaving behind people or situations that were once comfortable. However, it is a necessary step toward living a life that truly reflects your values and passions. The Stoics would encourage you to approach this path with courage and self-compassion, understanding that true satisfaction comes from living in harmony with your inner self. Ninth, reaching the point where you have done everything. If you have done everything in your power and still do not see progress or positive changes, it can be incredibly frustrating. This is the point of exhaustion when, despite your best efforts, the situation remains stubbornly the same. This feeling can occur in many different aspects of life: relationships, career, or personal projects. When you have done everything you can and the outcome has not changed, it may be time to recognize that this is not a reflection of your value or effort, but a sign that it is time to move on. Think of a relationship where you have tried every possible way to communicate, fix, and do your best. You have been patient, empathetic, and worked hard to resolve conflicts. But despite your best efforts, the relationship remains unsatisfactory or toxic. This can be incredibly draining, both emotionally and mentally. If your efforts are not reciprocated or recognized, this is a clear sign that continuing may cause more harm than good. In your professional life, there may be a project or work role in which you have invested a significant amount of time and energy. You have implemented new strategies, worked hard, and dedicated yourself to improving the situation, but the results do not meet your expectations, and there is no sign of improvement. This can lead to burnout and frustration. It is important to know when to change direction, seek new opportunities, or even quit completely in order to protect your well-being and professional growth. Personal projects and goals, too, may reach a point where, despite all your efforts and dedication, progress seems impossible. This could be a creative endeavor, a fitness goal, or any personal ambition. When you have exhausted all options and still feel stuck, it is easy to fall into a pattern of self-deprecation and despair. Sometimes wisdom lies in recognizing the right time to let go and redirect your energy to more fruitful endeavors. Quitting after you have done all you can is not a sign of failure. It is about understanding the limits of your influence and applying it to results that are out of your control. By walking away from situations that no longer serve you, you create space for new opportunities and experiences that more closely align with your goals and values. Imagine the relief and liberation that comes from recognizing that you have done your best. By letting go, you free yourself from the cycle of disappointment and despair. This act of moving forward opens up opportunities for growth, learning, and new beginnings. The Stoics teach us that life is a series of opportunities to grow, and sometimes growing means knowing when to walk away. It is important to approach this decision with self-compassion and understanding. Walking away does not diminish the value of your efforts or the significance of what you are trying to achieve. Instead, it highlights your resilience and your commitment to living authentically and with purpose. The Stoics would encourage you to view this as part of your journey, steps toward new paths that can offer greater fulfillment and success. In the journey of life, knowing when to walk away is a profound act of courage and self-respect. It's about valuing your world, your integrity, and your growth above all else. Remember, every step you take toward living authentically is a step toward a more fulfilling and meaningful life. If you found this video useful, you can subscribe and like as a sign of gratitude. To grow mentally together every day,